HB's been playing well. I thought he stepped up on both ends of the floor and had another big game for us. Him getting to the free throw line 11 times, him shooting the way he shot the ball, making smart plays, especially down the stretch, never panicking. And then him on a tough assignment in Bogdanovich, he did a nice job. But we as a group have to understand that when that ball goes up, we have to be better defensively. We have to play with a physicality without fouling, and we have to be locked into what our job is supposed to be. We were not good at all defensively tonight, and I say that because we haven't been great, but prior to tonight, I think in the last 10 games we were around 19th defensively. I think I saw something like that in terms of defensive rating. And so we're getting better. But I thought tonight, and you give Detroit a lot of credit because Case has those guys playing extremely hard. You give them a lot of credit. But I didn't like our approach, and I didn't like, especially early on, and I didn't like how we responded, especially after they hit a couple of shots. Teams in this business, if you give them an opportunity to get rhythm, it can be a long, long night. And we got lucky down the stretch to get this win. It's not always about the wins and losses. It's about playing the right way and approaching the game the right way. And we as a group, starting with me, somehow, some way have to do a better job with it.
Mike, given all of that, what does it say about your team to be able to grind out a win like this and eventually just outscore them on the other end to get the sixth straight?
It's good to learn lessons in a win, but at some point in time, those lessons have to translate onto the floor for a string of as close to 48 minutes as possible. And that's what I'm looking for more than anything else.
It seemed like they were really focused on getting to the paint. And do you think it was, maybe a lack of perimeter defense and stopping the ball or a lack of help on the inside or a combination of both? Just how would you diagnose that stuff?
Yeah, it was a combination of both. We gave up middle, and we're a no-middle team. We got blown by. We didn't come help like we're supposed to from the weak side when guys did drive the basketball. We didn't communicate. There were a couple of breakdowns where we had three guys around the ball, and somehow, some way, nobody picks up the ball, and that guy scores a layup. We didn't get out to shooters with a sense of urgency all the time, especially the guys that were quote-unquote low percentage shooters coming into the game. And so, anybody can knock down a shot if you don't challenge a shot and you give them rhythm and they know that you're not going to contest. And it's not running the low percentage shooters off the line, but at least being there and being the second jumper to make them feel you. There were a lot of things defensively that I thought we did that we've done a better job of as of late, and I thought we were trending in the right direction. And maybe this is one of those times where we took a couple of steps backwards tonight defensively, and hopefully we can start moving forward again on that side of the ball.
Yeah, Coach Brown, you just talked about it, and so did De'Aaron when he came in, about those hot guys from the opposing team that come in here and they make a couple shots, and then those low percentage guys on their teammates started hitting shots. What do you have to do to, get your guys to, focus more and defend more on those three-pointers?
Keep telling them, call a timeout, remind them, make a substitution, sit them down. there's things that we can do as we go along, but we have to take ownership in this, all of us, and we have to understand going into the game that if we're going to lose, we're going to lose because we got beat, not because we close out to a guy and he shoots the ball and we don't contest just because we don't think he's a good shooter. Those little things, they don't show up in the stat sheet a lot of times, or at least in this box score. But again, it allows a team to get comfortable. And one of our staples defensively is we have to be physical without fouling. Something we'll keep preaching, something we'll keep showing, something we'll keep drilling. And hopefully sooner than later we'll get it.
Coach, during the comeback, did you feel like your players did a good job of playing baseball and going after singles instead of looking for the home run?
Yeah. I mean, again, guys, I say this all the time. We can score with the best of them. And, I mean, think about some of the threes that, especially Kevin, that he missed. I mean, they were all the way down and popped out. And, we didn't, again, we played pretty good offensively. The sky's the limit for us on that side of the ball. We scored 137 points in a regulation game on 55% shooting. That's crazy. We got to figure out a way to get stops, and not just in the last 4 minutes or 3 minutes when we're desperate. We got to get stopped. We got to be desperate from shooting around all day, going into the game, and then throughout the course of the game.
Yeah, Coach, heavy reliance on the starters today. What were you seeing with that bench group that led to some of their struggles?
We weren't great in the pick and roll. We weren't great with our transition defense. We weren't great rebounding the basketball. And we just looked a little tired.
Domas seemed like he was a little frustrated throughout most of the game, and then late in the fourth quarter, he had a couple offensive rebounds that led to big buckets for you guys, and I think a defensive stop in there also. Just how much did you feel Domas's performance late in the fourth quarter there?
Domas was great. I mean, he got, I don't know how many rebounds. He ended up with 13 rebounds, but he was frustrated. I think some of the calls that went against him were a little frustrating. We weren't playing well, but down the stretch, he was huge for us. He came up with a couple of offensive rebounds that led to points. He also came up with a couple of defensive rebounds that didn't allow them to get a second shot. So his ability to control a glass was huge for us, not just throughout the course of the game, but especially at the end.
Yeah, 24 points for Jaden Ivey tonight. What were your impressions of him tonight and throughout the season?
He's good. Quick, athletic. He shot the mess out the ball tonight. He was 4 for 4 from the three-point line, and not that's hard to shoot like that every night, but when you shoot like that, it makes it easier for you to get to the paint. Because people now got to step up on your three. So he's a good player.
Yeah, Mike, one of the issues you guys have had here is an inability to win at home. Do you feel like your guys, number one, they're riding the wave a little bit here with the crowd and everything, but that you guys are starting to figure that aspect out and start to embrace sort of the home cooking?
I tell you that the fans have been fantastic, and they give us an energy that can get us over the hump, because we've won some close games here, and at the end of the day, you give a lot of credits to the fans because they're in the game and they're cheering us on, and anytime a good thing happens, you can really hear them, and to be able to take advantage of that is always a positive. You always want to protect your home court because it's hard to get wins on the road, and so I do. I think our guys are into it. They understand it. But just as important, the fans do too, and they're bringing the juice. Thank you, guys.
Is that a concern where the defense is, or is it one of those, the offense is good enough to make up for any deficiencies on that end?
It's a risky game, relying to put up 135, 140 every single night and to give yourself a win. We know there's going to be nights where you're not going to be able to score that way, so that's why we know that defensively we have to be better. There's going to be games where, shots aren't going to fall. We're going to be playing a great team, and we're going to have to grind it out on the defensive end against great players. And so I think that's our next step of growth, is just consistently being on that end so that, if we put up 100 points, we can still get that win.
Harrison, you've seen plenty of dark times here in Sacramento. Just how good does it feel to deliver this for the fan base and see the the sold out crowd on a Sunday afternoon, just like people going nuts?
Man, this is it's a lot. Fans have been showing up here in this building. They've had their heart broken for a very long time, and I think to deliver I think a level of competitiveness and consistency. Some people may take that as a given, but I think anyone who's been in this locker room, been in this arena, has known that hasn't always been the case. And I think for them right now to be in this moment where, the team is turning a corner, we're getting better, we're becoming more consistent, coming into this arena and leaving with happy feelings multiple nights in a row. I've been here almost 5 years, that hasn't been the case. So it's nice. And I think it's a credit to, like I said, all the people who, are showing up here faithfully, for years that, just haven't seen that.
What's the area defensively you think you guys need to clean up the most?
Communication. I think, just making sure whether it's in pick and roll coverage, whether we're switching, whether we're communicating on the weak side for a skip, there's just so many possessions that right now we're just leaving on the table that add up, over the course of time, 1, my bad, 2, okay, get it the next time, 3, okay, let's tighten up. And all of a sudden, we just gave them 9 points. So, like I said, as we continue to play better teams, those mistakes are going to come back to bite us.
You've seen good runs by Fox during their time together as teammates. What do you make of just the start for him to the season?
This is the best basketball he's played in his career. He's playing at an all-star level. He's doing it offensive end, defensive end, getting guys involved, just all over the place, just making plays happen. So I think it's a credit to him and the hard work that he put in this summer, and it's a credit to kind of just how he prepares and takes care of his body every single day.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Appreciate it.